Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon for you East Coasters. This is Steve Stern, the president over here at Senior Advisory Group, and I just want to say first and foremost, Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I hope you all got your rest and your vacation in, because now it's all time for us to get back to work. And I hope you guys had a great holiday with the family. For a lot of the guys on the call, we did this call to kind of shake off the cobwebs and the dust, and we know there's been a lot of changes. We're going to leave you with a good takeaway today like we always do. And for you guys that are out here wondering, yes, my wife and I, we had our baby on December 7th. We had a 7-pound, 7-ounce baby boy born on December 7th at 12:31 a.m., which equals 7. And he was 21 inches long, which is 7 3 times. So the kid was made for Vegas or the lottery or something with all that luck. But for everybody that has sent emails and stuff, thank you so much. It is appreciated. It really, truly is. Like I said, we are a little different. We are a little different here, and you know, it's more of a, it's definitely a relationship business. We are small enough to know you, and you know, we're big enough to serve you, and it works on the other side too. So we do appreciate all the cards and everything that everybody has sent in. With that being said, guys, our Turn Up the Heat training experience, we're back at it. February 9th. Is a Wednesday. You come in at your leisure. The 10th is a Thursday. We do a great marketing summit that we're going to talk about. On the 10th, we go with, or the 11th is a Friday, we go to the Annexus group, and on the 12th, you get to go home. Or if you can get out on Friday night, we get you out on Friday night, but we do a great party Friday night, so a lot of the guys all like to stay. A little bit about what you learn in there. This is number one. This is Richard Cato, everybody. This is the guy who is responsible for the invention of the equity indexed annuity. Richard's a good friend of ours. He builds our products for us, too, as you guys recall. We do have some new people on the call. Richard's our keynote speaker. He comes to talk to you about the past, the present, most importantly, the future of what's going on. And he has a great quote. It's hard to repeat, so we do have to write it down. But the annuities from the Annexus Group offer an inherent, substantial, sustainable, structural, competitive advantage. So basically, the guy that built it all is telling you what we build for Annexus is better than what's out there. We have an advantage all the way across the board. That's kind of like Thomas Edison saying, well, I built this light bulb, but now I got a better one. Okay? Well, who are you going to believe? Well, the guy that built it. And he did. And he's our keynote speaker, and it's awesome. And he was selected as one of the most influential people in the annuity business. Another gentleman we have is Mr. Bob Beckenstock. If you don't know Bob or heard of Bob, God, he's been in the industry forever. His company, his father started it back in like 1929. So Bob grew up in this industry. He runs our RIA platform. So for you guys that are thinking of getting your IAR underneath an RIA, or you need a broker-dealer, we have full service, full access to that. And Bob sits down and talks a little bit about that. We understand source of funds is going to play a role here at some point. We're not exactly sure how yet, but it is coming. Also, it really will help open up your business a little bit. Our next gentleman here is Mr. Rex Vogelin. Rex teaches our IRA Incorporated class. Guys want to become experts on this IRA market. We pay for your class to come out here and sit through this with Rex, and he'll teach you not only just the rules of the road, but how to apply those rules to pick up dollars. You know, a lot of the guys that have come to this have come to the Ed Slott training also, and they said this was awesome because not only did you teach us the rules, but you showed us how to use them for us to go make money with them, okay? Then this is a picture of Mr. Craig Serrana, our Chief Marketing Officer. It's a great picture of him in Shanghai, China right there when he was working for another company doing marketing. He's our Chief Marketing Officer. This guy is responsible for over $200 million in direct media placement, TV, radio, print ads. I'll tell you guys right now, we'll stack him up against any marketing officer in the country at any IMO. We run our organization here like a marketing agency that processes insurance business, not an insurance processing plant that's going to try to help teach you how to market. This is a real marketing guy here. Everything from social media, print, drip, the whole 9 yards, he knows exactly how to do it to get the impressions that you're looking for. Then also we have our man, Mr. Robert Van Arlen. And Robert is our business strategist. You know, we play checkers over, not checkers over here, we play chess. Chess involves a lot of strategy. Robert's here to help improve your focus, improve your consistency, improve your results. And we have a special guest on the phone with us today, is Mr. Greg Chick. He's over in San Diego, California, an incredibly competitive market. Greg has been working with Robert for about a month now, and we're going to talk a little bit about the results Greg is having, and we're going to talk a little bit about Greg further on then into this webinar. So, Greg, I want to say thank you for getting on the call because I know you're busy. Okay.
No problem.
Last but not least, this is our man Seth Joyner. Any of you guys are football fans? Greg, I know you're a big Chargers fan. Seth played for the Eagles, and then he won a Super Bowl with Denver. 13 years in the NFL, 3-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion. He was Sports Illustrated Athlete of the Year. You want to talk about focus, commitment, and knowing how to win? Seth knows how to do it. We teamed up with Seth. He actually created a charity, and the charity out here is a pretty unique one. He teaches financial literacy to children and teenagers. You know, because in high school, no one ever taught us how to balance a checkbook or what credit card interest means or what your FICO score means until you get out of college and you have all this debt and you were late on your bills and your credit's screwed up. So we teamed up with Seth. He comes in and talks to us. We help him out with his charity. It's kind of a win-win deal, and you guys are going to get a chance in the Charity Challenge to help out his charity too, to help teach fiscal responsibility to high school kids and younger. And then it's all part of our Turn Up the Heat training experience, okay? We've had a few hundred advisors with a Nexus. We would have qualified to be the 5th largest insurance company in the world. We're getting the best of the best, and not only that, our guys are getting more dollars off the table. Our average case size is over double of what we're getting from an indexed annuity. Traditional indexed annuity, $56,000. The BPA and BAA products, $131,000. We get more dollars off the table doing the same work. If you want to get paid more for doing the same work, then this might be something that you want to come out and see. Our objectives today, very easy. The overview of Turn Up the Heat. We're going to understand the basic elements and get back through this and knock the dust off on the Nexus Group family of products. We're going to help you understand the value of innovation and how to harness it to your advantage. We're going to talk about contracting for you guys that are not contracted with us yet. We're going to also talk with Greg Chicken about client engagement, how to get the clients to engage, and how to get the clients to commit, and most of all, Greg, how to get them to convert into sales, correct?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. You know, Greg came to us with a little problem. He was doing his seminars, and the appointment ratio was falling off. We teamed him up with Robert, sat down, and we fixed that. And Greg's going to go into that in a little bit. Also, what we want to do is give you a little preview of next week's call. For all of you guys that have assistants out there, the client relationship manager call on Wednesday. Very, very important. If you have back office staff, we're going to have 2 of our top producers, their back office, okay, their assistants are going to be on the call, and they're going to tell what they do for their producer to make him write so much business. They're both double-digit producers in annuity premium. One is getting his 65. The other one has about 30 million under management. He's only been doing his 65 for 3 years. These guys are hitters, and they're going to, back office is going to show you what they need to do to help maintain that for them, okay? And that is on Wednesday, January 12th. Now, we always talk about compelling reasons, and we want people to be compelling to do business with them. We know there's a lot of changes in the marketplace, guys, okay? We watch the competition, and here's a great example. 4.75 cap, not very compelling, 15% participation rates. 1.9 on the monthly point-to-points. The companies have negative rating outlooks. They have unreliable renewals. The carrier stability is in question. Continuous negative media coverage on annuities. We understand all this is out there. That is not compelling. That doesn't make the people want to jump off the couch and do business with you. We know that. We always say you can put lipstick on a pig and it's still a pig. If you think of those products, those annual reset products, the caps, they have fees taken from the principal. All those income riders deduct the fee from the principal. Whether it goes up or down, they always get their cut. Annual resets, it is antiquated technology, okay? That is a typical stuff that gets sold out there. And one of the things that Richard talks about at the training, and it's a really simple forecast, and think of this. And Greg, I want to use you as an example. If I go sell a product today and it has a 5% cap on it and it gets sold today, what are the odds of that cap increasing over the next 10, 12, or 14 years, the length of the term of the contract?
Almost zero.
Yeah, almost zero. They're not going to go up. And you want to know why, guys? The insurance companies sell away the upside. Anything over 5%, they sell back to the investment banker. Secondly, they purchase that 10-year note. that note is bought and paid for that duration of that product. Well, if I've already allocated all the money to buy the bond, how do I increase the cap? They don't. So all those caps that are getting sold today, the clients better like it for the next 10, 12, or 14 years because it's not going to move much more than 1/4 of a point. And what you're doing is setting yourself up for egg on your face or setting yourself up for that business to be rolled by another agent and you lose your client. And neither of those are what we're trying to accomplish. Okay? We are trying to create a new culture here, and we're doing a good job of it because we got the attention of the largest insurance company in the world, Allianz. Gary Botchwani, in one of his meetings, said we need to be more like that annuity cartel over there in Arizona, meaning the Nexus Group and the members like us. We taught, at first, everybody was kind of a little insulted. I took it as a huge compliment because we got their ear and they don't like it. And it's awesome. Okay? Fact of the matter is Allianz maybe did, what, $4 or $5 billion of premium this year? As the Nexus Group, we did almost $3 billion. But we're going to show you with how many people we did it with. Annuities from the Nexus Group, an inherent, substantial, sustainable, structural, competitive advantage. That's coming from Thomas Edison or Richard Cato, the guy that invented the equity indexed annuity. We talk about innovation all the time. Does innovation exist in your financial products? And we say no. Okay? Because annual reset technology is over 16 years old. How old is your cell phone? How old is the car you're driving, your TV? I know I click the channel, and if it's not on HD TV, I freak out because the TV is so horrible. So who knows when and where? How many people on here, anybody know when the first cell phone call was made? Okay? It was made out of Soldier Field in 1985 with a big brick phone. Look how far we've come. I use an iPhone. It's ridiculous. It's like a little computer in my hands. The Nexus Group, we have 7 patents. Okay, we have 6 more pending. The history, we launched in 2006. It was the most successful launch in history. We started with 0 agents. In the first month, they did over $17 million in premium with 0 agents to start. In 2009, 750 in premium, 150 agents. That 150 agents and that 750 in premium would have qualified to be the 5th largest insurance company in the United States. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. An average of $5 million a guy. In 2010, first quarter, we submitted over $1.5 billion in premium. In 2010, we introduced the 2nd generation of this product, and this is a testament to what we do here with our agents and for them. In 2010, they did a year where they said, the insurance company said business is down 30%. Our agents' businesses grew 40%. So everybody's, that's a 70% swing, guys. Everybody's complaining that their business is going down, but our agents are all saying, best years ever, best years ever, best years ever. And we're going to show you why. So today, currently, we have about 3,800 producing agents. Per agent, our numbers are just astronomical. We have the best of the best, and I'll show you why. We have $6.7 billion in premium since inception. We have over $2.7 billion that was written in 2010. Okay, I think we finished up around $2.8 billion. Guys, do the math. Divide 3,800 by $2.8 billion, and you tell me what that is per agent. It's about $8 million a guy. Allianz did what, $4 or $5 billion? What do they have, 100,000 agents contracted? Our guys are doing twice the business on average. Well, that translates into a lot more pay. We have enough premium now to be the 4th largest insurance company in the United States. Look at the scoreboard. Look on the left. These are all the companies that are out there. Some of you work with them. We know you do. They have 0 patents on their product. We have 7 that are granted, 6 that are pending. Okay? We're not only building the technology, we're owning it. We're patenting it. It's ours. And I can't wait till we start to enforce it because it's going to be an awful lot of fun to watch this. I'll give you one quick patent that we have. The income rider. We own the patent to the income rider. The United States government gave us the patent for that income rider. It's going to be awesome one day when we enforce it. Our innovation is the difference. I think of computers. People always go buy a computer. You got the little Intel inside. Well, we got a Nexus innovation inside. That's why we won. The 2 years that they did these awards, we won it both years in a row for basically best annuity. They have disbanded these awards. But when the senior market advisor did them, we won them.
Hey, Steve, it's Kev. I think it's important to point out why we're telling you all this information, the history, the background. Not to do it because we're bragging. It's to do it to reconfirm the decision that you made to get contracted with Senior Advisor Group in the Nexus Group. It's giving you that feeling, the comfortable feeling, sitting down in front of a client knowing you have such a pedigree behind you in the company that you're presenting.
And knowing that a lot of thought and care and a lot of intellect went into what you're doing. And yes, we are bragging a little bit. Come on, Kevin. We're definitely bragging a little bit. We're very proud.
I was just trying to take a little shine off of it. So
we're definitely proud of what we've been doing over here. We've made a huge impact in this industry, and we're not done yet. We have patented income rider. The balance allocation is patented. The family endowment rider, patented. There's just 3 of the 7, okay, that you guys know about. The other ones are still, some of them aren't coming to the marketplace. Now let's knock a little dust off of this, everybody. And as you remember, if you've been here to our training, we use a slide here. It says the Oracle of Omaha, Mr. Warren Buffett, says there seems to be some perverse human characteristic that likes to make easy things difficult. We are the insurance industry. We're awesome at this. We love making easy things difficult. That's all we do. We broke this down to make this as simple as possible. So we asked one question: what if? What if you bought a product and the fees you had didn't change for the life of the contract? What if you had 100% participation guaranteed all the time? What if you allowed to see and track your values every day? What if the fees, they only came from gains, not from principal? What if you were credited interest on your RMDs? I know you guys all had RMDs last month coming out, right? And think of what? Every policy you sold in January and the clients took their RMD in December, they forfeited 11 months of index credit, and it was a pretty good credit because we had a good year last year in the market. And they do it every single year because an annual reset product can only credit on the anniversary date. If you take out prior to the anniversary date, you don't get any index credit. That's not why you put them there. What if you took off the restrictions on the nursing home confinement? At any age, they go to the nursing home, they can get 100% of their funds, or they can get double their payout. What if you paid all the commissions up front? What if you allowed liquidity day one, including bonus and index credits? What if the 6% income rider was the minimum, not the maximum? And last but not least, what if you took off the cap? What if you really, really, really gave these clients some upside potential? Because I'll tell you what, with caps at 4.5, like Allianz, 4.75, like American Equity, there's no upside potential there for the client. Because when the interest rates spin back around, CDs will be pretty darn close to that. And then what? Then what? Granted, those caps will go up, but all those clients you sold previously are going to be stuck. And they're going to go, why did I get this? Guys, what if? What if all that was available? Would you be able to close more business? Would you stand out in your local marketplace? Would you have clients become advocates for you? Would they be singing your praises of what you helped them with? Would you have enhanced suitability? Would you be able to hold a client advocate dinner at any time during the year? Would you close more business? And Greg, I ask you this. Have you ever closed more business using a simple product than this?
Never.
Never. Guys, Greg's not coached in this. Greg volunteered his time for us. We have advocates for our business just like you should have advocates for yours. The Nexus family of products, guys, first and foremost, here we go. We eliminate all the complicated modifiers. No cap, no participation rates. We have no hidden surrender charges. We'll explain that in a little bit. We have no forced annuitization, no averaging over the term, no M&E expense. And most importantly, we have a fee or no fee version depending on what your client's tolerances are. Here's how it works. Oh, by the way, we guarantee principal. The product, very simple. A portion of your money goes into the S&P, uncapped. A portion of your money goes into the declared rate account. We blend it together. Whatever the blend returns, you get 100% goes to the client. That is pretty simple. If it wasn't, it's easier than this. A plus B minus C equals return. And that is actually how it's written in the policy. You can read it right there. Nexus, it's the only indexed annuity that captures the full appreciation as of the day of the triggering event. What does that mean? I buy a policy on February 1st. I take out my RMD. I die. I go to the nursing home. Something bad happens on November 17th. How much index credit, Greg, on those annual reset products did your clients receive?
How much index credits?
How much index credit? I bought it on the 1st. I died on the 17th, and an annual
Nothing.
reset. I'm up 10%. How much did they get?
They get nothing.
They get nothing because they didn't make it to the February 1st because it won't credit until that anniversary date.
Steve, this has
Okay.
happened to me before, and the beneficiaries are pissed when they figure this out.
Right. And it exposes you to liability. And we don't want that. See, you guys go back to the original date. We eliminated this. This is a way for you guys to just beat the heck out of your competition. If there's ever competition in the house, if there's ever something there you're trying to move, you explain this to the client, you are done. They will kick that other guy out. Now, it's like Monopoly, guys. If you don't pass go, you don't get your $200. If you don't make it to the anniversary date, you don't get the index credit. It's just that simple. Our patented design is simple. We track and see and track the values on a daily basis. Why is that important? Information. You're always in the know. Your clients are always in the know. And as the boomers get older and they're moving into safe money, they are computer savvy. They want to see stuff every day. We had an agent just the other day call and talk to us and said he lost a deal for $327,000 because the guy had to wait a year to know what was in his account. He said he doesn't have to wait anymore. Now you can go back and see this guy and pick up a deal. I brought instant value to that agent's business. Flexibility. Obviously, we get to see and track everything. We have no loss of interest on triggering events. Guys, that's one of those little caveats. It's one of those little hidden secrets that just don't get discussed. But the reality of the deal is very simple. Put your money in, take your money out, not on the anniversary date, you lose index credit. Cut and dry. And Kevin, I know we get this answer a lot. Well, I'm just going to put money in the fixed account and we'll just take it from there. Right, Kev?
Absolutely do. Yep. Why would you water down your client's return?
You didn't buy this to get a fixed return. You bought this for the upside potential. Well, you know what? Our product, we don't have to worry about it. Put it in there, take it. If there's gain, we get it. If there's not, you don't. Unlike the products that are currently being used. We have full value the day of death. And when I mean full value including the index credits to the day. Free withdrawals include appreciation to the date. If you put your money in, like I'll give you a great example, the S&P was up 17% from September to the end of the year. Well, what if I wanted to take a withdrawal at that point in time? How much of that 17% did your clients get in the annual reset? They got none of it. How much of that portion did our clients get? Whatever their strategy was. I'll just break it down simple. You want your clients to get interest when they take their money out or not? Obviously, your clients want the interest. Full value is confinement, terminal illness waiver. They get sick and say they're age 80. They can get 100% of their dollars out regardless of their age. We don't play the game. If you're 74, you get this policy, but when you turn 75, your rider works this way, like the other companies do. Why we can do all this is easy. What we did is we take this patented technology. Imagine getting in a taxi cab, you drive a block, you get out and pay, walk across the street, go into another cab, drive, pay, get out, or drive 2 blocks at a time and get out. Which one would be more cost effective? Obviously the 2 blocks at a time would. By us going to this longer option, by us going to this longer time frame, the option cost is less expensive. If we don't have to shell out as much money in option cost, guess what? We have the ability to put more back into the product. So we can remove the gotchas by saving on the design of the product. And this is patented, and it's a more competitive design. Now, the Nexus Group, we utilize this patented technology. It's more competitive, it's enhanced benefits, and the benefits will benefit your client. Our family group of products from the Nexus Group are not annual reset designs by design. We are not using the old Sony or Zenith floor model with the little clicker. We are HDTV. Okay? And by going to these designs, it allows us to become more capital efficient and we can give more back to the client. Why does all this matter? First of all, it's easier for you to explain. Okay? It's easier for the clients to understand. We have a saying here at this office, a confused mind always says no. Has anyone ever sat with a client, Greg, I know you've done this before, we've all done it, you sat with the client, you thought you gave the best presentation in the world, and they looked at you and they go, I got to think about that.
Oh, no, that's never happened to me.
Oh no. Okay, good. You're the only one in America. But I need to think about that, right?
Right.
So that's a polite way of saying no, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Or it's a polite way of saying I don't understand. We want to keep it simple so they understand it. This is an easy way to do it. The new technology has enhanced benefit to your clients. We stand out in a sea of lookalikes. There's nothing like it. Eliminate your competition. Once you explain, look, you forfeit your interest. If you don't die on the right day, take a withdrawal on the right day, have your RMD on the right day, go to the nursing home on the right day, oh yeah, you don't get that year's interest. They're done. You became the hero. It's more suitable for the client. Suitability, compliance, market conduct, big issues. Here's a great way to help with that. It gives you a strategic marketing advantage, and most importantly, too, it helps close deals. It helps you get more dollars off the table. Like I said, our average indexed annuity case, $56,000. Our average Nexus Group case, $131,000. You want to get paid on 56 or 131? Now, our average is better than their best. I want to show you something here. We put $100,000 in. We ran it at a base strategy of 40 S&P, 60% declared rate. Okay? Our low strategy now is 36. Okay, 64, 36. So the numbers are just a little skewed, but I want to show you something here. Our best would have been in 2 years, the 100 would have turned into 138. Our average was the 100 would have been 111, 915. We take a 6% cap. Their average is 100, or their best is 112, right? If I have a 6% cap and I cap out 2 years, the best they could do is 112, 360. Well, I know American Equity's cap is 475. Allianz is 4.5. Some of them are even lower than that. And if you have a cap that's over 6, 7%, it's only going to be there for the first year. Or they make the cap so attractive because nobody puts money in that bucket. So it makes it look like they have integrity. And I saw that yesterday. I saw a company had like an 8% cap. Well, they don't ever get any money in that bucket. That's why they do that. But our average, our best, they can't even come close to. Our average is better than their best. I know you guys all sell concepts and return never comes into it. But we just want to show you this for a reason. Now, here's what we did. Went to the Genesis Group. What they did is issued a policy every day for 30 years. And they ran them out in 12-year increments. And here's what we did. We took our blend here. We compared it about what's out in the marketplace. We took a 2.1 monthly cap. We took a 5% annual point-to-point. We are definitely being fair, more than fair. What we did is we took the best, the worst, and the average. If we use Strategy C, 36-64 blend with no fee, our average return is 5.41. That's over 40% better than what's currently being offered in the marketplace today. By the way, every 2 years we reset. So every 2 years this can get better. And it does. Our clients, we've been on the market over 5 years. Just so you know, the clients that bought 5 years ago when the market conditions were much better, now market conditions are worse, they renewed at the same level that they originally purchased at. I challenge any of you, and I will put a $1,000 bet on it or more, to find me an indexed annuity that 4 years ago renewed at the same exact rate that your clients bought it at.
And Steve, more importantly, is going to guarantee you that rate's better or the same for the next 4 years, for 8 years total. Yeah, because remember, in the old model, the BPA was 4-year increments, but now we guaranteed it. So for 8 years, they've never had a change. I don't know any indexed annuity in the country that can say that. Now, if your clients want to get a little more aggressive, great. We'll go to Strategy B, 55-45, 1.6 fee. If we want more equity, we have to buy it. That return is 6.07. And then the top ones, the Strategy A is a 70-30 with a 2.9 fee. Our average return is 6.55. Now, one thing that I want to caution everybody on, all of these numbers that are on this piece of paper, they are net of fee. The fees are taken out. You will always get a net number from our office. We don't like surprises. We don't want you to get surprised at the table. So if I go to Strategy A, I had one gentleman go to me, oh, your fees, wait. He goes, my client, this is the exact quote, my client's up 32% in your product, but your fee's too high. That 32% is net of fee. How much are you up in a 5% cap product in 2 years? Well, at best, you could only be up 10%.
I don't care what the fee is. If I get 32 versus 10, that's a heck of a better deal for my client. And remember, our fees only come from what? They only come from earnings. Don't make, don't take. Very simple. It's a very simple format. So remember, guys and ladies on the call, fees only come from earnings. Those numbers are all net of fees. That's our 12-year product. Here's our 8-year product. If you notice, the returns are just a little bit less. Obviously, short-term products have a little lesser return. For you guys that are still in BPA states, Pennsylvania, Texas, am I leaving anybody out, Kevin?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Here's the BPA returns. As you can see, a little bit better. If we go to a longer hedge, we get a little bit better on the return. But we're basically 40, 50, 60, 70% better than what's currently being offered in the marketplace. And we know that those caps are not going to increase much more than 25 basis points. And then lastly, the pie chart. And this is awesome. Why is this so awesome? Because the pie chart's incredibly important. And the reason why I say that is that you guys all ask us for a one-pager. I want a one-pager that explains everything. Here it is. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we're going to take strategy strategy C. We're going to use strategy C. It is a blend of 36% of the S&P, 64% of the declared rate. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why are you 34.64 or 36.64 and not like 35.65? The pricing is this delicate. They were going to go 35.65, and Richard goes, we can get an extra out of it. We're going to give the client the extra. And that's how they did it. So look, 36 S&P, 64 declared rate. There's the pie chart. If you look to the right, it says 0% annual fee, and it also says deducted from the appreciation in the strategy. There's no fee. The next column, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, this is the best, the worst, and the average. What we did is a 12-year hypothetical. What they did is issued a policy over 30 years. It says it right in the corner every day, starting on 12/31 of 09, going backwards 30 years. The best we ever did was your 100 would have been 234. The average is 188. The worst is 136. Okay, but you're always guaranteed that your principal's still intact. Okay, and by the way, if you look on the bottom, it says amount are shown after fees. And then the 2-year hypothetical, put 100,000 in. The best you ever did was your 100 turned to almost 134. The average turned to a little over 110, but your principal was always safe. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, how much would you like to allocate to the balanced allocation strategy? There it is.
Steve, I think it's important to point out about this pie chart as you're going through these numbers. You'll notice, like you said, we just did these numbers over a 30-year. We didn't pick a cherry, time period. We didn't pick returns from a product that's no longer available from a company to put out. It's something that you can use at the point of sale that describes, essentially basically everything that's going to be in the product that you need to talk about.
Yeah, it's all right there on one page with the numbers, the back testing, and I think what Kevin brought up is incredibly important. It's not about the sweet spot. We didn't pick the best 20 years. We just took from the 9th of December, from 09 to December and went backwards. That's all we did. Now, let's talk a little bit about the riders. Our income advantage, 6% minimum. Yes, I know there's income riders that pay more, but we want to talk about this. They're compounded annually. Our income rider works the way your clients intuitively believe it should work. Our marketing tip that we're going to use, obviously creating private retirement plans. We all know that one. Income planning. We can do it. Our 6% is compounded annually. Now remember, our 6% is the minimum. Excuse me, why? We have no cap on our product. Can we do more than 6? Absolutely. Question for you. If your cap is 475 and your income rider is 7, how many times are you ever going to beat the 7?
Never.
Never. The rider charge, it will never invade the principal. It's only taken from the earnings. Allianz, they multiply their rider charge off their income account and deduct it from their accumulation value. That guarantees your client's rider charge is going to increase every year no matter what happens up or down. Wait till you get a couple 0 years in a row, which eventually will happen, and the client sees their principal get a couple nice little bites taken out of it. They're going to be really upset. Okay? And 0 loss for interest and for confinement. So remember, guys, we still credit the interest prior to anniversary dates. We double the income for confinement. If they get sick, go to the nursing home, and they turn their rider on, they'll get twice as much money. They're IRA and withdrawal friendly. Our income base is the greater of the accumulation value or the income account. Whichever account is highest is where the income will come off of. Can your account value beat our income? Can our account value beat our income account? Yes, it can, because we have no cap. Can the competitions? We discussed that. No, they cannot. Spousal assumption. Our spouses can assume the product and assume the income rider. This is a question we like to throw at you, and I want to see if you guys can do the math. Will you think your clients would rather have 6% and 4% go back to the heirs, or would they like to have a 7% and 0% go back to the heirs? What do you think? Greg, you work with your clients every day. You do what we do. You do over $4 million a year in business. Okay. Your clients want 6 and 4 or 7 and 0?
You know, I got some pretty strange clients, but a lot of them would rather pass the 7 and 0.
Exactly. They don't want that 7 and 0. They want that 6 and 4. They pass on that.
Stevie, also, let's go back to that one word that you keep using for us. Would you rather have a 6% and 4% minimum or a 7 and 0 maximum?
That's right. Now, our family endowment rider, and guys and ladies on the call, this is what makes everything sizzle. This is far better than any income rider in the country, and we'll show you why. Legacy planning. We were looking at a study, the top 2 sold variable annuities, that, I mean, just ridiculous amounts, were all sold because of a death benefit rider, not the income, which tells us the clients are very cognitive and they want legacy planning. They want to pass stuff to their heirs. We have a 4% compounded annual death benefit rider. We'll compound it through age 85 with the bonus. If you don't take the bonus, it'll go through age 90. This income, or this endowment rider, will still compound whether your income is on or off. So as you're spending your income, we're still replacing it at a certain percentage, 4% to be exact. This rider charge never invades. It's only taken from the earnings. It allows for you to do the number 1 question, which we're going to get into, and this question is going to dramatically increase your closing rate. Cut and dry. If you follow the number 1 question, you're going to close more business. And we're going to show you right here. Real quick, here's a case for $100,000, okay? We're going to put, sorry for the blurry PDF, but that's the best we could do on the slide. We're going to use a 0% return, okay? We're going to spend, at age 70, we're going to take out 4% a year for 20 years. We're going to spend $55,800, and when the client dies, there's $131,656 to replace to the client. So I put 100 in. How much return did we make? We made 0, never made a penny. I spent $55,800 in income, and when I died, I left 131. Now, can I spend more income? Yes. Then the death benefit will just be a little bit lower. And that's all based on a 0% return. Now let's go to the next column over and say I did a 6% return. Now I spend $95,500, and I leave almost 152. I'm just telling you where our guys are doing this, that the income, those income benefits, I know why a lot of guys sell them, because they get to say 7 or 8% in the same sentence as guarantee and say your account's going to make 7% every year. No, it's not. Your income account is, and when you die, it all disappears. Goes poof, to vanish. It's a fake, fictitious account. This is real money. You want fake money or real money, Mr. Client?
Steve, I think it's important to point out, you mentioned that, we say that this is the most important feature, of the product. It's not just us saying it. It's the agents out in the field telling us it is. And what I have the ability to do is go out and meet a lot of the agents that we work with in December. And every time I walked into one of the offices, they're like, oh, you guys as income rider were so cool because we could pass that on to the beneficiaries. And what that was telling me is that wealth transfer was important. And not only did the agents tell us that, LIMRA tells us that 85% of the people that are in deferred annuities are going to die and pass that event along without taking withdrawal. So, we're just as guilty, and Steve will be another one to admit it, to get caught up in our income rider, because it was pretty cool, because we could pass it on to the beneficiaries. And what we forgot about is the single most important product, feature of the BAA the family endowment rider, and that's what you're explaining here.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't immune to that. We got caught in income fever is what we call it here. We call it income fever. Okay. However, I'll tell you what, we're back on death benefit fever because this thing still works and it sizzles when you sit with the client. IRA solutions. Are you guys losing IRA cases? Yeah, we all have. Why? Because they've seen stuff just like it. They want to see and track the values. They don't want to see historical returns. Historical returns mean nothing. Simpler interest crediting methods. They don't want to forfeit any interest. They don't want to deplete their IRAs. They don't want limits on their upside. They don't want fees to invade principal. They hate caps. And most importantly, your competition works with the BAA. And when you sit down and show your angle, and they show the angle where the clients can put their money in, spend it, and leave more to their spouse, guess what? I don't think you're going to win. The number one question for all you guys on here, we preach this question day and night. If you don't have this memorized and it cannot come off the tip of your tongue, you're shortchanging your business. Because you will create, and Robert, I know you talk a lot about this, is you want to engage the client and you want to create compelling reasons, and this is pretty compelling and pretty cool way to engage your client.
It definitely is. I mean, this question is everything in this business.
It's everything. Now, we never designed index annuities for qualified plans. That came from Richard Cato. The guy that invented them said when they did their assumptions, they assumed zero. They assumed no one would ever put their money qualified plan into an indexed annuity. And everybody in the meetings goes, well, why did you assume that? Well, who would want to put their money in and not get interest when they took it out? Over $750 million by 150 guys in 1 year. This concept, we're going to teach it to you right here. You ask the number one question. You guys have clients that are like this, 70 and 66, and they're concerned. Obviously, Mrs. is the most concerned because as he gets older, they spend more, she gets less. So here's what we do. Here's $1 million. Move it over a little bit, you got 100,000. Whatever you want to work with. There's your RMDs coming out. The next column is your accumulation value. We do it at 0. Okay? 0%. We have a family endowment rider, compounds at 4%. So let's just look at these three columns. I put $1 million in, take the accumulation column, follow it all the way down to age 84 when he passes away. You spend almost $475,000 in RMD. I'm sorry, your accumulation is $475,000, so you spent $5.25. I spent $525,000 in benefit, and when I die, there's $1,025,000 left over to give to my spouse. I challenge any of you to find me somewhere where I can put $1 million in, make no interest, spend $5.25, and leave $1.25 million. And everyone thinks these income riders are cool. I don't get it. This is cool. Mr. and Mrs. and Greg, I know you wrote a case for almost about $963,000 or something with this exact concept right here.
Yep.
This is how we picked it up. Now, if they want income and they want a little more and they want to take it, well, there's your guaranteed income base. It's creeping up because they're taking out their RMDs, but it keeps creeping up. So if we look at the whole thing as a whole, let's take it down again. Go from right to left. Our cumulative benefits, we spent $525. If they ever want to turn on the income rider, it's whatever that number is multiplied by the factor. If they die, they get whatever's in that family endowment rider column when they die. How do you ever miss an IRA sale ever again? How? Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we're going to put your money in. You're going to spend $525,000. You're going to leave $1,025,000, and you never made a penny. That's access to $1.65 million, and they made no money? That's pretty impressive. And this is how we close IRA sales. And everyone in our office is an expert, and we can run these illustrations and customize them for you guys. Our math is simple. Put $500,000 in, you spend the RMDs, that's what's left. Put $500,000 in, spend the RMDs, there's what's left. Which side do you like better for your client? Obviously, you like the right side. Question is this, when you get to rewrite that and assume it and rewrite the assumption, which one you want to get paid on? We want you to get paid on the $500,000. Our number one question, is this a compelling reason to do business with you? Does it give you a strategic advantage? Does it separate you from your competition? As you can tell, we're very passionate about this because it really does separate you from the competition. It makes you totally different than anybody else. Look at all the client advantages. No cap, no fee. We have a no fee option, no participation rate, no hidden surrender charges, no forfeiture of interest on your withdrawal, see the values daily, 4% death benefit, 6% income rider. Can you get this from all the products you're working with right now? Our answer is no. That's a very rhetorical, loaded question. Now, we want you guys to think about all your clients that you're currently working on and cases you've missed in the last 30 days. If you want, we'll start with the ones you missed first because we want to bring value to your business. We don't want to be like the other IMOs. We're not an IMO. We're a marketing organization. Different. Okay, we're a marketing agency that processes your insurance business. We want to help you. We'll bring instant value. Give us a case you missed, especially if it's on the qualified side. Scribble it down. Give us a call. Shoot us an email, whatever you want. If you want this faxed over, we can email this. You call us, we'll email this to you. Fill it out. We'll run you the illustration, help walk you through to go pick up the deal. Now, a little bit more about Greg. Greg is an SAG advisor. He's worked with us a little over 6 years now. He's got 15 years experience in the business. Greg is an Inner Circle member. We were in Portugal last year. We're going to be in Rome this year. He missed Cabo because he couldn't go. He's in Southern California. He's out in San Diego area. So I always love hearing people say, oh, well, you know, I work in a real competitive market. He works in San Diego. It's pretty competitive out there, isn't it, Greg?
It's really competitive. I'm only stepping over somebody and taking their business.
There's nothing wrong with that. And Greg does seminars once a month because seminars don't work. So Greg keeps doing them. So they just don't work, right? One of the things we found, Greg called us up and he said, you know, my seminars, attendance has dropped to here. He goes, but my appointment ratio got a little bad. So what we did is we took Greg and hooked him up with Robert. Okay? Robert Van Arlen, 15 years in legal publishing. He's a former VP of sales for Fortune 500 companies in the U.S. His clients include Cigna, Aetna, New York Life, Henkel, Procter & Gamble, universities all over the world. He is a strategic coach for CEOs, entertainers, and athletes. So you know what? We need to brainstorm a little to figure out why these people aren't getting engaged with you and why they don't want to come see you. And I know this looks silly. We thought about this little form. And Robert, I want you to take this over from here a little bit and talk about this little form and you and Greg and what we did.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, working with Greg has been, it's been great. You know, he's so tenacious, and you know, he came to me and he said, you know, I love doing seminars, but if there's anything, if there's a small thing that I can do that I could increase my ability to book more appointments, you know, that would make this seminar more effective. It would make it, you know, more beneficial even to my clients, to my practice, the whole 9 yards. And I said, well, you know, I've been playing around with something, so we sort of sit down, we strategize together. And we came up with this form, and the form is very simple. It's nothing complicated. It's like that pre-engagement opportunity, you know, that little bit of an icebreaker at the beginning of the seminar to get, you know, to get your clients and prospective clients more emotionally focused on the content, because you know there's a lot of things there's a lot of distraction and distortion that that comes up prior to them getting there. So you want to bring them back to that center of focus, and that's how we came up with this form. And I'm going to let Greg sort of take it from here because he's worked with this, he's used it, and Greg, why don't you just talk about how you use it and how it's helped you?
All right. Well, thanks for bringing me in on this. This little form may seem silly to some, and it wasn't silly at all to Robert and I as we started strategizing on it. We started getting excited about the ideas. And basically what we do with this form is in the workshop we have this form sitting on top of our little binder, our little folder. And when the people first get into a workshop, they're a little trying to get comfortable. I don't want them to be uncomfortable. I want them to be really comfortable, but I want them to do what I want them to do, and I need them to get involved. And it needs to start soon, and that's what this really has done. It gets the people involved very quickly. So I start off by stating that, they're not here for a free meal, I hope, and if they are, that's fine. But you know what? They're hopefully here because they have some financial needs and they will have some financial goals. And so in front of you is this sheet of paper. I'd like you to take this moment, put your name on the envelope, fill out the things that are best appropriate to you, sign it, and then put it back in the envelope. And here's what this has done. It gets, and you know what? I will not move on until these people have done this. So I'm looking around the room, and I'm really seeing who's on this. Most people, matter of fact, we've had 2 workshops. This has worked very successful. Everybody filled it out. I was very impressed with that, but maybe because I made them do it. But the fact that they were getting involved from that very moment really helped bring that workshop forward to a point where I had a lot more success. After the folder, after they put it in their envelope, and I made kind of like a deal, a little thing, this is your information, so I suggest you put it in the envelope. And my wife works with me, but it can be your assistant, doesn't really matter. Is going to come by and pick up those envelopes, because when we meet with you, we want to see how close your goals were being met by our workshop tonight, and see if we can help you to accomplish those goals. That was huge, and it made a workshop that was good much better.
And this is not something complex, guys. This is something simple. I know that a lot of us hand out a lead sheet, and Greg, I know you do a lead sheet at the end also to fill out for your appointments and your stuff like that. But guys, this is different than the lead sheet. This is to get them to engage, right, Greg?
Absolutely.
Getting them to interact with you before we get moving, so kind of the guard comes down and we can get into a process, correct?
Absolutely, and that's really kind of what I'm trying to say, is that I don't know how many of you out there are doing workshops. I've done a lot, and the whole thing is from the very beginning. Matter of fact, when we start confirming people, we get involved, what they're going to eat. We tell them how to get there. From the moment they arrive, we have a meet and greet session where we have appetizers. Everything you do along the way leading up to this sheet and to your workshop is essential, because if you're not different from, let me ask you guys a question. Obviously, I can't get all your answers, but if you are doing workshops, everybody else is doing workshops. And if you're not a little bit different, then you're just like everyone else. This is different.
You're the same. Yeah, if you're not different, you're the same.
Yeah, and if you're the same, they're going to listen half as much. If you're different, you're going to perk their attention, and that's what we need them to do. We just need them to pay attention for a few minutes to let them see what we're doing.
That's different and engaging.
Greg, you talked about how easy this. Steve, let me ask some quick questions. You talked about how easy this helped you close some of your business. You want to just elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, we kind of stretched a little bit. We wanted to get the year started strong, so we did a workshop on November 30th and December 1st. And we've done that now a couple of years, and it's worked phenomenally. But it is a little risky, but the reason that I want to bring that up is that we had a smaller group that attended. And on the first night, we had 7 possible buying units. And out of 7 possible buying units, using this strategy, along with other things that we do, we set 7 appointments. Now, here's something that's very peculiar that came out of these appointments. And I've been doing this a long time. When people came to my office, or I went to their house, they were more relaxed. They were more trusting. They two of the different sales that we made out of the last workshop said something I've not heard yet, and they said, "Tell me what to do, Greg, and we'll get it done." I don't know if it's this sheet or not, but I will say that that is a phenomenal thing, and it made the sale process simple, and everybody is secure in what they're doing and happy.
And just so you know, it wasn't just the sales sheet, guys. Our quote here is, "The only silver bullet is you." If you heard Greg talk, Greg did several other steps along the way. He had a little, when they talked on the phone, they talked a little bit about the food and what was going to go on. They talked a little bit. When they came in, they had a meet and greet. When they sat down, then he had them do the letter to engage them. So Greg has had 4, 5, 6, 7 contacts before he's gotten to the house.
My wife is listening in the background. She goes, "We kiss their ass a lot."
Yeah, well, and that's customer service, and that's what it takes.
Well, we make them feel special. We go through this thing. And I'll tell you what really has made the difference in our workshops also. And this is not something that I made up or created on my own. Unlike this thing with Robert and I learned from somebody that's done a lot of these workshops that the people that get there, they're going to see what you have on the screen, and most people's minds are going to they're going to only listen to so much. They can only absorb so much. They're going to forget most of what you said. Here's what they're going to remember: how did you make them feel? And they're going to remember a little bit of what you said. And at the end, here's what we close with, and this is gigantic. All of you that have been in this business, even for just a little while, there's someone that you've helped, that you went above and beyond the call of duty maybe, that you did something that significantly changed their lives for the better. I call it a heart-warmth story. I have a really great one I use, but I have a couple I can fall back on. But the point is at the end of the workshop, prior to getting fed, I tell them this heartwarming story about how we help this individual. And I tell them I'm applying for a job right here, right now. I'm not here just to feed them dinner. I'm here to make a difference in their lives. And if they're interested in making a difference, then we should talk and find out if we can help you or not. And that heartfelt story and that little statement, and there's different ways to say that, makes a big difference because that's what they're going to remember, that last impression of how sincere you are in your business.
Exactly. So look at this. This little sheet is 3, 4, 5 things just because of this little sheet. That brings it on the way. And Greg has been very successful at this, and we've done business together a long time, and we plan on doing a lot more for a lot longer. And one of the other things that we also do is life insurance. A lot of you guys have done business with us, and I know you're doing life insurance, and it's going to get more popular. I challenge you to call us and let us help you with your life business. Okay? We do life business here, and we want to do more of it. We want to do it with our guys. If you like us for our annuities and you like us with service and you like the ideas and the stuff that we have, let us try with your life business. We do arbitrage. We can do arbitrage, do a lot of it, taking those qualified dollars. We have all kinds of things we can do. Using the BAA, taking the 4% out, buying life insurance. When they die, they get both. We've got all different things here. You just need to call us with what you have, and we'll work through it for you, okay? Now, next week on Wednesday, guys and ladies, here's what we're doing. Shana Witten from Jack's office, and Greg, you know Shana very well, and Julie Leonard from our buddy Jeff Leonard's office out in Florida. One's in Arizona, one's in Florida, so 2 different coasts basically and 2 different deals. They're going to talk about doing this. We're going to show you guys, and we have the hiring tools to help you hire the right assistant. Nothing more expensive than a bad hire. How to modify your behavior to achieve effectiveness and efficiency, and how to modify their behavior too. Proper pre-post appointment follow-up, having how your assistants do that. Creating a culture of superior customer care. And it's funny, as we say that here, and Greg just talked about it for 5 minutes. And last but not least, defining what a client relationship manager is. I always say in our trainings, do your assistants assist, or do they just answer phones? Because I'll tell you what, Julie does all the compliance in Jeff's office. Shana, you can't even imagine what she does for Jack. She does everything for Jack, from marketing and advertising, setting appointments. We're going to talk a little bit about that, how they get paid and what they do. And, Jack pays his assistant a spiff. Every time she sets an appointment, she gets a commission. Every time he closes a deal, she gets a commission. Well, guess what? She does all day long. She sets Jack's appointment so he can close cases. Little stuff like that. We're going to talk about that. We would love for your assistants to be on that call so we can get to where we want to go. Lastly here, this was an email that we got the other day, and I thought this was hysterical. Came from Keith Harper. Keith's one of our new guys. He's been in the business 30 years, never sold an indexed annuity until September of this year. He didn't like them, thought they were complex, didn't care for any of it. He is 28 for 28 since September. He hasn't missed. He's an IAR underneath the RIA. He's got $56 million under management also. So he picks up assets, and he does this. This was hysterical. I'm going to read the bottom. It says, good morning, Kevin. He's not going to be able to be with us today. Have to be in Wichita to help Bob with the new enrollment, 15 new employees. We're taking 15 apps. However, for the rollover money, keep your fingers crossed. Keith. Kevin upset sent me this email over to me. Said, wish they were all like this. It's all about communication. The best way we can help you is for you to communicate with us. If we call you, call us back. If we have a problem, get a hold of us. Email, text message, cell phone, we give all of our numbers. You can get a hold of us anytime. I can't tell you how many Saturdays Greg and we've had conversation, or how many Saturdays you've talked with Kevin. If you need us, we will help you. But it is about communication. There's nothing worse if you guys aren't in the business and we're calling you. Call us back. Say, I don't do this, but I appreciate, the call. Thank you. Great. But it's about communication, and we notice the more that the guys communicate, those are the guys that do the most business with us. Funny how that works. Also, guys, we pay the freight. Make a deal. You write business with us, we'll pay for all the overnights for your apps to come to our office. First one you send in, what we'll do is we'll set you up online to where you can print out the receipts so you can overnight the business to us. Faster we can get the business to us, faster we can process it, faster you can get paid, which means faster we can get paid. Contracting, if you're not with us yet, you hopefully will be after watching this. Our contracting is easy. It's an information and 2 signature pages. We need a copy of your E&O, copy of your license, a voided check, and the completion of the BPA, BAA certification webinar, and you can do it at your convenience. When we send this over to you, the link's right there. Just watch it. It's real easy to do, and then you'll have your writing number. For you guys that are close to Rome, and Greg will be there, there's our Coliseum buddy. We're going to be having a good time out there. We're going, the qualifying still to the end of March, so for you guys that are on here, let's get going. And lastly, obviously, referrals mean as much to us as they do to you. If you thought this webinar is helpful for us, let a colleague know. Tell somebody about us. Okay? We want to know if you benefit from our training. We want to talk to these people. We love having advocates, and I want to thank Greg for getting on here with us and taking time out of his day. Also, one of the things we do, guys, if you're not checking out our YouTube, our Twitter, LinkedIn, Craig, what else we got? We got all these things. If you notice, it's YouTube at Senior Advisory, VISRY. We couldn't get the ORY in there. That's what it is. Every week we post sales stuff. And I just had an idea when we were talking on the phone. We're going to do a video with Greg when he comes out here for training, because he'll be here in February. So when I get excuses of, oh, I can't make it, I'm so busy, well, if you're not writing as much business as Greg and you can't make it here, he's going to make it here. And we're going to do something with him when he's here. Take action today. Call your marketer. There's our Twitter account, our Senior Advisory Group account. We've got all kinds of ways to get a hold of us. I'm sorry we went an hour. We usually don't go this long, but we really do appreciate your time. If there's anything you need, the marketers are here. Call them. If not, I promise they are going to be calling you as soon as we hang up. Craig, Robert, Greg, Kevin, thank you guys all for participating in the call. Everybody, have a great weekend. We're going to be contacting you, and we're going to get moving, and we're going to show you guys how to never miss those qualified plan sales again, how to give your clients a better upside potential, and we're willing to pay. By the way, we pick up the whole tab for your training. We pay for all of it. So really all we need is for you to be in the business and do what we do, and we need your time. That's all we need. And Greg's been to 2 of these. He's coming back out for another refresh. So I guess you're never too big or never too small to learn. So Greg, thanks again, buddy. I really do appreciate your time.
Glad to help.
Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Okay, here's the deal on that.